Daisy won an award today.
I know. What a sweet girl. I love her.
She won an award for being nice to another kid at karaoke at school.
To which I replied, Daisy, girl after my own heart, is already learning that long songs at karaoke are not the way to go.
It's
Either
true.
she's been listening to this podcast or we are kindred like I've known since day one.
You are.
We're the same person.
Hi, Jillian Benzavalli.
Hello, Patrick Hines.
Hey, can I plug my little book tour again?
Please do. If you don't, I'm going to be mad.
Fam, come see me on my Patrick's Traveling Book Party. I'm coming to, I think, 11 cities now. We sold out Chicago and Seattle really fast. We added a second night in Chicago. If you're thinking about coming, get your tickets because they really are selling. Quickly, these rooms are small. The whole point is I want to meet you. I want to hang out. It's one part dance party, one part hang sesh. I'm going to read a chapter of my book. You all are going to get to decide what chapter it is.
Ooh,
I know.
I'm excited.
And I'm going to stick around and take pictures with everybody. It's an intimate, fun, really like just wacky evening. So I hope you will come. Get your tickets at truecrimeobsessed.com and click on the CS Live link.
Yeah, I'll be there for the New York one.
Oh my God, you're going to be there. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for
Hey,
you.
tell them to join the Pates.
Oh, yeah, join the Pates, everybody. That's where you get the ad-free versions of these episodes
Yep.
and also like the long, like episodic stuff. So, you know, Bad Vegan and Puppet Master and the
Woodstock
Jinx.
99.
Woodstock 99. We just did Finding Andrea, Wild Crime, Love
Yeah.
Fraud,
Then like the Jinx, Lorena, Making a
Tons of stuff.
Murderer.
Heaven's Gate.
Oh my God, the Gacy thing on
The
Peacock.
Gacy thing on Peacock.
So, and then all of our, so many live show videos as well. The live show from Obsessed Fest, the live show from Boston where we did Class Action Park.
Yes.
Our earliest live shows from 5 years ago when we
my-
first did our, in a tiny little club here in New York City.
Back when we were Muppet Babies. I
Muppet
understand.
Babies.
Got it.
All right, girl, what are we talking about today?
Oh, boy.
I
We
know.
are talking about The Most Hated Man on the Internet. It's on Netflix. It's 3 excruciating episodes. We're going to be doing it in 2 TCO episodes.
Yeah, so the way we're doing this is we're cutting it in half. Episode 1 is right now on the regular feed. You're listening to it. Episode 2 is live. It's ad-free at the $5 level on Patreon. So if you cannot wait to hear how this thing wraps up, and I know you can't because it is wild, and you're not on the Patreon, go join right now. You get the episode right now ad-free at the $5 level.
And then the second episode is going to be our regular episode next week.
Correct.
That's how
exactly.
we do it. Okay.
I woke up, you wake up, you look at your phone, 200 notifications.
There I was, topless, multiple photos. It was an absolute shock.
Shit, I got posted on the site.
IsAnyoneUp.com. I felt violated.
Humiliation. That site was about destroying lives. Who would create a website like this?
This is Hunter Moore from IsAnyoneUp.com. Fucking all your girlfriends.
Hunter Moore, also known as the most hated man on the internet.
And his website is Anyone Up. Me and my friends would just post a bunch of girls, and I was like, yo, I can make money out fucking people over.
He thought of himself as the king of revenge porn.
He made it appear that you would be very successful by being a complete sociopath on the internet.
And it pissed me off.
I pleaded with him to please remove these images, and the response that I got, LOL.
Has there been any individual you've just felt sorry for to the point that you take something down?
No, it's just too much fun.
But the one thing he didn't anticipate was Charlotte Laws.
No, my first note here is that these episodes are just called episode 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, we don't have time.
No, we really don't have time.
This, I gotta say, I had a lot of, I'm just gonna be honest with our listeners. I had a lot of trouble because this is so many of my fears realized. Like all the things that keep me up at night and that make me really anxious and sad and scared and like that I want to save everybody and I can't save everybody and every animal and I can't do it. So the way I sort of like try to get around that is like, that's not real me. That doesn't exist. And this proved to me that it exists and those people are there and like it's really dark and scary.
I mean, there are really bad fucking people in the world. Like this is right on the heels of the Girls Gone Wild with the joke.
I know.
My note here is that this guy, what's this guy's name?
Hunter Moore.
Yeah, this Hunter Moore guy, the guy who like literally invented revenge porn and he takes credit for it.
And it's also a misnomer, much like True Crime Obsessed. It's not exactly what it is, revenge porn, but we'll get to it.
But I'm saying he only exists because of Joe Francis. Like Joe Francis invented the man, like didn't invent it, but like popularized the style in which this guy became famous.
Right, and then there's so much footage of him where I'm like, this is Joe Francis 2.0 again.
That's
like
what
he
I'm
looks
saying.
exactly.
He's in the bars, manhandling all these women.
Horrifying.
So we start in Woodland Hills, California. We meet Charlotte Laws.
My name is Charlotte Laws. In January 2012, I was living in the suburbs of Los Angeles with my husband, Charles, California lawyer, and my daughter, Kayla. who was 24 years old at the time. It was a very happy life. I was extremely fulfilled.
Pull over.
But here's the thing.
I'm going to have to make a lot of people very upset
I
now.
know, because Charlotte Laws is so fucking badass in this.
She's a fucking fighter. She did a lot of great things. Is she a little reckless? Absolutely. She's perfect fodder for a documentary.
Yeah, 100%.
100% great. She's also a proud Trump supporter.
Yes.
She has a blog post entitled Why Donald Trump is a Feminist.
Oh.
She called January 6th.
Woof, you're not going to give us a well-timed woof?
Woof, barf, woof. She called, because I have too much to say.
Yeah.
She called January 6th a protest on Twitter.
Stop it.
She's not thrilled about vaccines. So to everyone in my DMs, yes, I saw the tweets. I saw the blogs. She has since seemed in the last couple of weeks, months, distance herself from Trump a little bit.
Well,
but
yeah,
it's all
her and
still out
everyone.
there. Right.
Sure, you know what I mean?
Too little, too late.
The midterm elections had a lot to say about that.
So here's how I see Charlotte Law, right?
Yeah.
Here's how I see Charlotte Laws. She is the Jeanine Pirro of the series.
Yes.
Jeanine Pirro and the Jinx. So she's on the right side of history here.
And she's pretty fucking badass.
She
here.
gets a lot of shit done, but like personally, I don't know. There's some things there.
I'm petitioning to say, for the purposes of the documentary, let's just talk about her as the badass woman who did the thing she did here.
I agree, because what she did is great, but I needed to address everyone in my DMs because I got a lot of people were asking, do you see this? Do you know? Don't do that. Blah, blah, blah. So I see it, but we're going to talk about her here in these episodes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's January 2012. She's living in the suburbs of Los Angeles with her husband, Charles.
Yeah.
Charles is a real piece of work.
Yeah. Can I just say one more thing? I know we were going to move on from Charlotte. I'm sorry.
Please.
I know.
You know a lot of things.
I don't.
Okay.
Normally, I wouldn't think that political beliefs are necessarily relevant, but it's not how we live anymore.
Right.
Donald Trump isn't a feminist. He's a bully. And 19 women have accused him of sexual assault at least.
Yes.
So it's weird to me a little bit that Charlotte is doing all this great work in a crusader against a bully and someone who
is a sexual predator.
But blinders when it comes to Trump. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Now I am officially moving on, and we're talking about Charlotte in these four walls of the doc.
Can we talk about her husband, Charles? He's a lawyer. He's British. He's
He's quite something.
He is quite something.
Sometimes he's great. Sometimes he's terrible. At one point, I just say, Charles, we'll handle it. Go away.
No, that's exactly Charles.
He's British. Kayla is Charlotte's daughter. And Kayla starts out by saying, my mom and I are more like sisters. To which I say, oh, no.
As soon as she said that, I was like, Jillian is not going to.
So they had a very peaceful life in the suburbs.
Yes.
Kayla was studying acting in college.
And then she had a side job as a waitress, trying to save up money so she could move out.
Life in the suburbs, generally speaking, was a peaceful life. Normal, quiet, we lived like millions of other people. To and fro, do nothing in LA without your motor car.
As Charles says, to and fro, doing nothing in LA without your motor car. That was just kind of the way it was.
We're not going to stop on motor car. We spent 9 years on automobile, and we're not going to say another word about motor car.
I mean, I just finished the quote. I was going to dive in on motor car. If you gave me 0.2 seconds, I would have gotten there for you.
To and fro in your motor car.
Do nothing in LA without your motor car. Charles is right on that point.
He is right about that.
Goddamn thing without a car, whether it's a Lyft, a shared ride, or your own
100%
vehicle.
Your own motor car.
Everything's fine in the motor car until Kayla's life explodes.
That's right. Also, Kayla is not Charles's daughter.
No.
So Kayla says Charles came into the picture when she was 7. He's really fun. He's a great guy. And he's British, which is even better.
Yeah, that's fun. And I'm like,
totally.
Sure.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Kayla's coworker tells Kayla that she's on a website called isanyoneUp.com. And it's a website full of nude photos, and Kayla is on it. Kayla doesn't know how this happened.
Yeah.
And she calls her mother right away, and she's in a panic, and she's hysterical, and she's embarrassed.
And to be clear, there is one picture of Kayla where she's not nude and one where she's topless.
Right. And most importantly, she doesn't want Charles, the stepdad, to know any of this.
Which is a little bit of a red flag for me.
It's a little odd that you would call your mom right away. I don't know if my mom would be my first call. And my mom and I are very close.
100%.
I would never describe my mom like my sister.
No. But maybe when you were 24, I don't know. I mean, now, you'd probably be my first call. You and Steve.
That's what I mean.
What if I was on, a nude website?
But I guess if I was really terrified and I needed help.
Yes.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Charlotte the mom goes to work getting this photo down.
Gives you a lot of pain as a mom to feel your child in pain. And I had to get that picture down as quickly as possible.
The type of person that I know my mom is that she won't just sit on her hands. I think right in that moment, she got to work.
Kayla knows this about her mom. She's like, my mom is not one to sit on her hands. She's one to get it done.
Right. And she does, because Charlotte gets on this fucking trash website and she can't believe her eyes.
Yes.
It's not just her daughter. There are men, there are women, very young, very old. There are disabled women. They're like nudes from every type of person that you can think of.
And I think what we're getting at there is that it wasn't necessarily to be sexy. It was to be humiliated.
Because, of course, there was a comment section.
Of course.
And these people weren't happy to see naked photos. They were calling them, their words, whores, fat cows, sluts. Ow, my eyes.
Yeah.
Real original, you fucking incels.
She said, exactly.
So the comments were hateful. It wasn't like, oh, cool boobs.
Right.
You know, it was like, or hey, cool, a peen or a butt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, wow, how sexy. It was about humiliating people.
It was a humiliation website. And so Charlotte is like, who on earth would do... Oh, wait, the guy's picture's all over the place.
He's not trying to be anonymous.
No. He's like,
we'll get to anonymous in a second.
Oh, my God. He built his website the way I'm going to build my book website, where it's going to be a little picture of the book and 100 pictures of me.
All the same picture.
Totally. All the same
That great picture with the disco balls. I know exactly which one. It's great. You're using it already.
I can't get enough of it.
It's great. His name is Hunter Moore. We hate him.
Yes.
This is where I have already. He reminds me of Joe Francis. I hate him.
100%.
So Charlotte's like, I need to know everything about this guy.
Yeah.
So let's go to San Francisco, California, where we meet Kira Hughes, Hunter's girlfriend, now ex, I guess.
I have very complicated feelings about her.
I agree.
Because she's here to be very honest. Like, she's here to kind of tell us everything about her experience. But the thing about her and everybody in his life, because eventually we got to deal with his parents. Like, everyone in his life is so willfully blind to what he's doing.
Right. So I think Kira's being very honest.
She's got a great haircut.
She's great. She's like, cool.
Yeah, she's very
still
cool.
She's still very like. We learn about Scene Kids. You know?
Yes.
Did you know anything about Scene Kids?
Scene like Michael Alec?
Different Scene. This was more like this was after Michael Alec. You know, the punk rock. We learned about it. Did you watch the same thing I did? Okay, great.
I don't know.
But there's a part.
I'm not convinced that I did.
There's a part later where I'm like, Kira, come on, you're gonna start lying to us now, Kira.
100%.
So Kira met Hunter when she was 18 years old.
Yeah.
There was this immediate attraction. They start dating right away. She basically tells us what the inspiration was behind this site, and I'm like, oh, that fucking train's never late. Quote by Hunter.
Well, it all started with, me hating some dumb bitch who broke my heart, really. And that's how it started, dude. Me and my friends would just post a bunch of girls on Is Anyone Up? And we just got a bunch of traffic one day, and I was like, yo, I can make money off titties and fucking people over.
I can make money off your new favorite word, titties, and fucking people over.
Yeah, and like the thing about it is I'm not really looking for silver linings, but like the fact that he has the realization that there's money to be made by fucking over people out there in the world, and he just decides to go do it, and the fact that that doesn't happen more often, I guess, is kind of a good thing.
Oh, it happens.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what like the dark web, so much of the dark web is.
I also
not all of
point
it,
out, like, we get this 100 times. He is not making as much money as he wants everybody to think he doesn't make that much money doing this.
He is one of those people who loves being a dick. He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, we don't assign people things here, but he is. But he's also loving it. Like, he loves being hated. He loves being the bad guy.
Because more than making him rich, it makes him a little bit famous. It makes him like internet Twitter famous because people love him or they hate him, but they're always talking about him, which is what he cares about.
But he becomes, and someone says later, like the patron saint of these incel asshole guys who are looking for someone to say it all out loud. But what Hunter's saying out loud is fucking terrible, and Hunter loves that.
Totally. This is where we get the scene stuff.
We're down in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. We're learning about like the indie rock band scene in Florida.
No, we're learning about
is Grandpa getting it wrong?
Well, no, indie rock would be like the Shins, back in this time.
Yeah.
This is like emo and screamo and pop punk and skinny jeans and the big hair covering your face and the MySpace bands. We meet Brian, who says, I screamed into a mic for a living.
Which I was like, that's my job, Brian. I'm very highly represented in this documentary.
The world is wide enough, Brian. He screams that way, we scream our way. We're good to go.
But he's just saying...
Is Anyone Up took off at a time where smartphones first appeared. And the Sidekick was a smartphone that everyone on the scene was using. So what do you do with a phone with a camera? Take pictures of your dick and send it to people on social media.
Brian says the dumbest thing, like, well, what else are you going to do with a camera phone but take a picture of your dick and send it to people on social media? Speaking on behalf of the people who love to take pictures of their dick and send it to people, I don't understand why anybody does this. The gays love it. The gays are always sending pictures of their penis.
Did I hear you right or did I not? I thought you were like, as someone who fucking loves sending pictures of my dick to everybody.
No. I have never once taken a picture of my penis. Does that shock you?
No.
There is not a picture of my penis to be found anywhere in the world.
You would know how to send it anywhere.
But I'm just saying, like, Brian, you don't have to do that.
Well, Brian explains not really, Patrick. He explains that there were a lot of nudes. The he, she's, gays, and theys. Everyone was sending nudes. And, like, no one was thinking about the consequences. The internet was still new enough.
I guess.
And, you know, Hunter now. So Hunter has that website, Is Anyone Up? Hunter's the bad guy.
Yes.
Hunter is the most hated man on the internet.
Yes.
And in my heart.
Yes.
Today. Hunter was encouraging.
Day's not over. You know what I mean?
Over.
It could go a lot of ways.
I still have to get from Midtown to my neighborhood during rush hour, so plenty of room for everybody.
Totally.
The thing is, if you just drive, do you know what I mean? You don't have to drive through Times Square. We can go.
You and I were texting each other from our respective traffics today.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, we have to at some point just decide that New York is done. It's finished. You don't need to do any more construction because we did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've been here for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Hunter was encouraging people to be as terrible as possible on his site.
Yes.
And here's what else he did. He was doxing people before that was a term.
Hunter Moore would purposefully connect your social media accounts to the photos that were being submitted of you.
People could easily access you. They could, go look at your naked picture and then also go find your Facebook. There was no hiding behind the internet. You were fully on display.
He'd link your social media account and these angry incels would insult you and cyberbully you.
But not just link your account. Like, it'd be a picture of Jillian with her tits out. Am I allowed to say that word still?
Yes. Why are you asking me permission? Say what you want to say. There are certain words we don't say in this room.
Yeah. I don't
tits,
like,
you can say.
I don't like
if
saying
you don't
it
like
in front
saying
of you.
Why?
I don't know. Anyway, the point is, you'd be there with your boobs out.
Right.
And you... But then it would be like your Facebook profile, so you would see your photo from the real world. The point is to say these women
and men and people
and everyone, but like here's where they are in the real world, and now you just click on this thing and you can go stalk them there.
Yeah. May I say a word about doxing?
Sure.
Because this really riled me up because doxing is, as per the internet, the act of revealing identifying information about someone. So I feel like people just assume that doxing is only if you put someone's name and address with a link to Google Maps.
That is 100% what I thought until this very moment.
It's not.
Okay.
And also not anymore. Like, if you post anyone's real name, do you know what the internet can do with that information?
Yeah.
Like today, if I'm user123 and someone finds my real name and posts it, that is what doxing is. Because even posting my second social media, let's just say, that can do tremendous damage when people are riled up. So Hunter is riling people up. Like, even just your first name is doxing. Don't do that, everybody.
No, I couldn't agree. Like,
it's also, fucking 2022.
The point is, like, if you have to say it, it's too late. Like, just everyone be nice. And there's
just
people are going to be nice.
And people are going to be dicks on the fucking internet.
I know.
Like, and I'm not saying that. It's just like to then like turn around and dox them. It's just like, stop. Everyone stop it.
But so they take it back to Kayla, and this has happened to her. So above the picture of her with her boobs, there's like her Facebook profile. And so suddenly people are sending her just like men being awful.
Lots of guys reaching out to me, talking about my body sexually. And I just wanted to delete everything, block everything, get rid of everything so that I didn't receive any more attention.
Sending her like overly aggressively sexual shit.
And the thing is, like, Hunter has a following.
Yes.
So now they are seeing that he posts her full name.
Right.
They see it as like, we're off and running.
Yes.
So now they see it as a message to attack this person and send hateful DMs and messages on someone else's behalf.
And like then when she shuts down all of her social media, they find her phone number and they're just calling her.
Like, Hunter has a following and the people in the images don't.
I know.
And now he has this army of angry incel boys and men doing his fucking dirty work. Like, at the very least, this is bullying.
Exactly.
At the very least.
Exactly. And if there's any part of you out there listening who's thinking, well, you know, she shouldn't have taken that picture, we'll get there. We will get there.
We will get there.
We will get there.
Oh my God.
We don't feel that way. For the record, that's not like I'm saying we will disabuse you of that thought.
I'm going to get through this, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be okay?
I think so.
Okay, we'll see.
I'm here.
Kayla's, thank you. That actually is helpful.
I'm always here.
I cried to Mike about this today. It's been a day.
Oh, God.
So Kayla's photos and social media have been up for 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days. And they are harassing her, and all she wants to do is disappear. She wants to disappear from the internet. She wants to disappear completely.
Yeah. And we learn now how these photos came into existence. And basically, Kayla is telling us one night she was just feeling herself, as the queens say.
Yeah.
And she was in the bathroom thinking she looked hot, and she took topless photos of herself. Now, you take topless photos of yourself and send them anywhere you want. Send them to people if you want to, whatever. Like, it's your body. I am not like shaming anybody for anything.
They're meant for the person you sent them to and nobody else.
But she didn't even do that. No. The person she sent them to was herself.
My cell phone ran out of space. So I sent the photos to my email address. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out how my photos ended up on this website.
Part of it is also not just the humiliation, but the confusion.
Right.
How did this happen? It's another level of the violation because it wasn't a boyfriend or a girlfriend or someone.
Yes.
She was hacked.
And
this is the point.
Right. What happened essentially was she was taking photos of herself topless. She ran out of space on her phone, so she emailed them to her personal email.
And she thinks that that's safe. Normally it would be, right?
Exactly.
And now she's thinking like she's in this horrible situation and she remembers, shit, just last week I was like weirdly locked out of all my accounts. I had to reset my password and she's putting things together and it's like clearly she's been hacked.
Exactly.
The photos were stolen and then put on this website and that is illegal.
Exactly. It's going to take us a long time to get there.
The FBI, we got to speed this shit
we gotta
up.
go fast.
Hurry up.
I know. They're working very hard, but I agree with you.
I'm so glad. At least we didn't hear, well, I have a daughter, so I give a fuck. At least we didn't hear that.
So Charlotte the mom is like on the case.
Yes.
And she says like there's a form on the website that's like if you'd like to have your photo removed, email us here. So they do.
When I sent the email, it came from Kayla. We wrote it together and she made a plea to him to take it down.
I told him that the photos had been hacked and I never wanted them on the website in the first place.
And they say she didn't consent to these stolen photos being uploaded on the site. Like, take them down.
And so Hunter writes back and asks for proof that she was hacked, which they supply, and then he never responds and doesn't take the photos down.
And they say they're trying to appeal to his human side. They're trying to get more bees with honey, as they say. Just saying like, hey, so thanks for having this email form on your site.
Yeah.
I'm that person. I don't want it. Hey, thanks. Thanks in advance.
Correct.
Nope.
Because the point is, you can also submit your own photos. So people can like send in pictures of you, or you can submit yourself.
Or like Brian, the scene kid.
Yeah.
He's out drinking with his friends. He goes to the bathroom.
Wait, this is a wild story because he goes to the bathroom, leaves his phone. The woman that he's sitting with, when he gets back, sorry, you finish the story.
When he gets back, she's just like, hey, I just sent a picture of your dick to that website. He was like, wait, that photo was for someone I was dating or sort of like hooking up with or flirting with or talking to or whatever. And like the woman sent it to this horrible website. And like
he says it was just a picture of me holding my penis.
Right, like what's the big idea? But the point was like it's super easy to submit photos and it was anonymous. And when you send it, the like thank you page is thanks for being evil. Your submission has been received.
Oh my God.
Is anyoneeup.com hearts you.
And then he wakes up the next morning and his DMs are blowing up like, girl, because just because it's submitted doesn't mean it's going to make it onto the website. It does. His dick pic is on the website and he's like, fuck, like he had been a consumer of this. He thought it was funny. He thought other people's nude photos that were submitted without their knowledge or permission was funny. And now it's happened to him.
Right. So he calls Hunter.
So I called Hunter and I was like, hey, can you take my post down? And he's like, it's nothing against you, nothing personal. It's just business.
Hunter refuses. It's not personal. It's just business. And off he goes. So Hunter wanted people's attention. This is very clear.
Yeah.
And he would do or say or tweet anything to get it. And he's getting press. He's on the news doing interviews. And Hunter is calling it revenge porn. But that's not accurate because people are hacking people like Kayla for these photos.
He's doing that. He's deflecting.
Right.
Because what we're going to learn is that Hunter is getting these pictures by hacking.
Right.
And what he's trying to say is like, no. People are submitting pictures of their exes. And maybe that's happening a little bit, but that's not the majority of where the pictures are coming from.
Imagine he's
lying on purpose.
Of course.
Yeah.
But his point of view is like, no, it's not as bad as you think. It's just assholes sending in revenge porn.
Right. Exactly.
Isn't that better?
Exactly.
Like in his world, that's a better thing to say. It's not.
Oh my God.
That's his warped, fucked up brain.
We're back to Kayla's story, and her mom, Charlotte, is like, this can't be legal. I'm going to call his attorney because Hunter has his attorney's number posted on the website.
Right, because what Charlotte's learning is that it's people, like it went from being like the fun and silly scene kids who were all kind of in on the joke until they weren't.
Right.
To like Kayla and nurses and moms and teachers and real people.
Yes.
So Charlotte's like, fuck this. So she calls Reza Sina, who's Hunter's former employee.
We meet Reza.
Former attorney.
Totally former. I feel like Hunter did not at any point inform Reza that he had his number on the Hunter's website because Reza's like on the good side.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel like it at first.
It doesn't. But he's like very annoyed. He does not like Hunter.
Right. And he is no longer his lawyer.
Correct.
So the thing is, like, none of this is illegal. illegal.
Right.
Because what they're saying is, I mean, the hacking aside.
Yeah.
Because the argument is website owners, and this is wild, sit down for this.
I know.
Because, like, I'm going to say it twice.
But this is how Facebook gets away with all the shit they do.
Right.
Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act basically says that website owners are not generally responsible for the content of the website if its user submitted. All he's doing is providing a forum for people to put it up.
He is just, I don't know, it's not my fault.
That was the whole disinformation on Facebook around the election and the vaccines. Like,
I'm just providing a platform.
I'm just providing a platform.
Bullshit.
I mean, that's exactly that's
exactly
the world that we live in. Can you imagine?
Thanks a lot, fucking Hunter. Thanks.
We also learned that Hunter says he's making $13,000 a month between merch and advertising.
Merch.
I know. Who's buying, like, are you all up dot whatever the fuck?
Like, shut
Literally
up.
dot what the
Yeah,
whatever the fuck.
Shut up.
Who's buying
.com.
that t-shirt?
Nobody. Shutup.com.
Hunter now, like, he's doing that, you know, the Girls Gone Wild Joe Francis thing where he's like going to all the parties and all the raves and bars are welcoming him in.
Yeah.
And he's just like trying to create that internet image of like the internet bad boy. He's saying he's going to be, quote, P. Diddy by the time he's 30. He's
The white P. Diddy is what he says.
$100 million. Like, he's just delusional.
He's delusional. But the thing is, which is like, oh my God, the internet is such a dark and scary place and there are horrible people in this world. The website launched in 2010. By 2012, it was super popular. And someone explains that it was getting 350,000 unique hits a day. And in 2021 numbers, that's 3.5 million unique people going to the site. And someone says,
As much as I hate to say it, I think that Hunter tapped into something that's deep inside us. He made it appear that you would be very successful by being a complete sociopath on the internet.
Hunter proved that you can be successful by being a complete sociopath on the internet. Maybe I've never heard anything else more true.
I know. And the thing is, it's like people who are not bad people want to go look. It's like a fucking creeper petting zoo.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
No, get it away from me.
I know.
You know, like I have no curiosity. It's all of my worst fears confirmed. So it's 4 days since posting the photo.
Yes.
And Charlotte, the mom, Kayla's mom, is like just trying to like find anything she can find.
She's becoming obsessed with the website because she wants to learn everything about it. So she's on it constantly.
She finds one of her daughter's friends also on the website. So Charlotte, a minute late, calls her. Turns out that this friend was also hacked.
And also had no idea she was on the website.
So Charlotte's like, okay, I see what's going on here. So Charlotte is like trying to, anything she can do. She calls his publicist, to which I say, LOL, you have a fucking publicist. Lawyers, advertisers. She called his mother at work in her cubicle.
I gotta say, like, when you're a parent in this situation, everything is on limits. Call the fucking mom at her job. I can't believe that his mother didn't take the call. You raised a kid. Like, maybe you just are so disconnected. You have my mother still asks me where she can watch my podcast I've been making for 5 years. So maybe they just don't fucking know. But he, like, as the parent of the person creating the internet's worst, most evil shit, how do you not, like, take the mom's call?
Right. Instead, the mom tells Hunter what's going on.
Then one day, there was this email from anonymous individual. I don't know who it was. And it said, "Back off, bitch, or else," signed the family. It was really quite shocking. And I thought to myself, what on earth is the family?
Now Hunter sends, quote, the family.
Oh my God.
Which is basically his cult of incel asshole people who are like really fucking angry and have nothing to lose because now they start threatening Charlotte and her family.
Really threatening. We learn there's a warning at the top of this episode about the images you're going to see. I was not prepared for any of this.
Right.
We see like videos of, quote, the family, just like a collection of like tweeted videos. This is before even Instagram or obviously TikTok. These videos of what these people are doing is so fucking disgusting.
It's vile. It's depraved.
Like they show an actual video of a guy taking a shit into it, like through somebody's sunroof.
And what they're doing
and you
this.
see the poop.
Yeah, it's all poop. They're doing this to impress Hunter, who they call father.
Yes.
So they're doing the most vile, most depraved things just to get his attention and approval. Like so much of it involves poop right now.
Cannot believe that they
brushing their teeth with their like
God.
just going to the bathroom, doing everything in the toilet, and then putting their toothbrush in it and brushing their teeth. For what? To what end?
Not to trick somebody else, like to use that toothbrush themselves to impress Hunter.
And also just like punching each other as hard as you can in the face. Just like horrible shit. And it gets worse.
You and I spent 5 minutes talking about how we were going to talk about this section. We meet, and I'm quoting here, I don't like to say this out loud. We meet, quote, butthole girl.
Right. This goes on for 25 minutes. I think we can do it quicker than that.
I hope so.
Her name is Destiny.
Yes.
She's also known as Butthole Girl. And she is here. And she is very honest. She wanted to be noticed and accepted by Hunter and these people.
I was 19 years old.
I wanted to get out of my mother's house and kind of be more on my own and self-sufficient. One of my friends told me, hey, you should try webcamming. You know, you'd be perfect for this.
A friend tells her about webcamming, which is like virtual sex work,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So she's like getting paid to be on camera and perform sex acts and whatever. And she's using this horrible website, isanyoneup.com, to get more traffic to her website so she can make money.
And that's what she like wants to do.
Right.
Because she's like, if I submit like pictures of myself, then I can drive people to my webcam sites. But that's not what happens. Because what happens is she gets drunk one night, she goes into one of her like webcam rooms, and somebody suggests that she uses a Mousse bottle, like the hair product Mousse bottle, on her bum. And she does it.
Because it would be so funny, apparently.
Yep. And somebody takes a picture, and then they submit that picture to this guy's website. What's it called? Is Anyone Up? So they submit it there, and Hunter publishes it, and it goes viral.
But you know how they would also link to your social media?
Yes.
He did that, and there was a photo of Destiny's children as her like banner photo.
And I want to slow down on this to say she wanted to be sexy on isanyoneup.com to like be like a cool hot girl and drive.
It was like a commercial for her actual business.
Exactly. So, but instead, somebody took a picture of her doing the thing with the mousse can, and that got so like
she didn't know. She didn't plan that. She didn't know that was going to happen. Someone was just being mean.
And like she's kind of devastated that now she can't be like a star on isanyoneup.com. And yes, when it linked to her Facebook page, it showed her profile picture with her kids.
And now she feels like an idiot because she says like, why didn't I? She's crying and she's saying like, why didn't I think to take the kids out of my cover photo? But she's like, my fantasy girl, her words, her fantasy girl persona was online and on certain websites. So she was like the real Destiny on Facebook.
Right.
These horrible people merged the two.
Right.
She was doing something sexual that she thought was for a private room.
Right.
It wasn't. So they totally were being horrible.
And then she emails Hunter and she's begging him, like, could you just take my fucking babies' faces?
That's it. That's all she's asking.
Leave up the fucking moose butthole picture. Take my kids' picture, my kids' faces. He won't do it.
Unless she barters with him.
The only thing that would work, I felt, was if I offered to take more pictures of things in my butt. The one that he suggested was a cell phone. He wanted me to put the cell phone in my butt and then he would call it and it would vibrate. He thought that would be really funny.
If she sends more photos of items in her butt, then maybe he'll take photos of the kids down. And she's going to do whatever it takes. So she's like, okay, like fine.
So she does it.
And now she becomes famous on the website.
But like she becomes famous kind of as a joke.
And Hunter took the photo of the kids down.
Exactly. Like what nobody is understanding is that Hunter doesn't want these pictures to be sexy.
No.
He wants these pictures to be humiliating.
Right.
So there was no way she was ever going to get on that site in a sexy way. Like no, people just didn't understand
That's not what it was about.
No.
It's not what it was for.
The pictures that Hunter's making her take are degrading and humiliating.
In exchange for doing the right fucking thing and getting her kids off that website.
Exactly.
So let's go back to Kayla. Kayla's photos have been up for 5 days. Charlotte is getting death threats from, quote, the family, Hunter's followers, who are a bunch of fucking lunatics. And Charlotte goes to the cops. And a woman.
Oh my God.
A woman.
Wait, let me ask you this. The surveillance video we see of them like filling out the report and talking to them, is that real?
I think it's fake.
I was like, why are we seeing the surveillance video of them like walking into the police station to like have this totally random conversation?
Also, speaking of footage, now that we're here, just because you do have footage of poop and horrible things later, that doesn't
100%.
mean we have to fucking see it. I get it.
I get it.
Totally. Can we move on?
No.
I've seen more shit today.
Literal shit.
Literal shit in every sense of the word. So Charlotte goes to the cops, and a woman police officer says to Kayla, why would you take these photos if you didn't want them on the internet? Kayla's like, I didn't. Are you listening to me? I was hacked.
I know.
Stop blaming the victim. The cops were useless. And speaking of useless, now we're on Fox News.
Oh my God. And I just want to say to the cops, it's not your job to fucking editorialize. Take the report.
Right.
Take the if you're not going to help, don't help, but don't fucking make it worse.
And listen to her.
Yes.
She was hacked. That's illegal.
Yes.
Get it together.
Have just a little empathy. That's all.
Right.
That's all.
So now we're on Fox News, and yet another woman, the internalized misogyny makes me crazy. Oh my God. She's talking about how these women deserve to have their photos on this website.
And if I'm dumb enough to send a naked photo of myself to a boyfriend, to a lover, to whatever, and they decide out of vengeance 5 years later when I'm mean to them or whatever to post it somewhere, that's actually my problem.
If they were dumb enough to send them to someone in the first place, bitch, wake up.
I know.
Fucking listen, she was hacked.
But even more than that. If you do take a picture of your boobs,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It was meant for the person you said, like that scene kid Brian. That dick pic was meant for that one person he was talking to, dating, flirting, whatever. His friend, another woman, shouldn't have just posted it against his will. Like, what are we doing?
And I think that I know that this has always existed and will always exist, but there was definitely like around the Girls Gone Wild time, there was a time when women, to get onto these TV shows, would have to say things like, well, it's her own fault. You shouldn't have taken the picture.
Right.
It was like the expected response or whatever.
Right.
It's like the victim blame. It's just like...
Because it's an easy thing to say.
Yeah.
And you don't know all the facts.
Of course.
You know? And it's like, you just... Like,
but then it's also, Brian, like, you loved the site until you were on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You were on it all day, every day, until your fucking dick was on it.
Right. It's all fun and games until it's your dick. Brian. If you write a second book, can that be the title of it?
It's all fun and games until it's your dick.
Right?
Brian.
I'm sorry, but like, the truth is the truth.
Truth is the truth.
So we're back to Destiny, who is known as Butthole Girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, she has 2 kids, and they're both by different fathers. So both of these fathers come together to try to keep Destiny out of their kids' lives because she's known as Butthole Girl and because she's like a sex worker online.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny's making some very questionable choices right now. And like, are the kids safer with the dads? I don't know. I mean...
Destiny's doing all of this from her bedroom. It's
Yes.
not like she's going out into the world, you
Yes.
know? But also, like, this is a very dangerous corner of the internet because they're doxing you, so they can find personal things about you.
I want to say, like, I believe that sex work is work, all of that. I'm just saying, when we were talking about this before we started, Destiny doesn't seem like her mental health is in a very good place.
And it's about to get worse.
Yeah.
Because now she's being, like, abused because she gets depressed. She starts drinking more.
Yeah.
And one night she's, like, tweeting about how sad and drunk she is. And Hunter, the villain here, the most hated man on the internet, sees this as an opportunity to drag her down even more.
And I remember him messaging me that we should get on Skype. He had promised to help me set up a website for me to get my porn more out there and I could make enough money to get my kids back in my life.
And he's also making these promises. I'll get you enough money to get your kids back. Don't worry. Like, let's talk on Skype, like, privately, and maybe I can help you. Now he's the good guy, right?
Right,
Wrong.
exactly. And he, like... I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
He wants her to fist herself.
And what he's really doing is screen recording their video chat without her consent or knowledge.
Yes.
And he's asking her to do more things with her butt. And she doesn't want to at first.
Right.
And he pushes her, and she's hammered.
Yes.
And she's like, I didn't know he was doing this. And if I did, I wasn't, like, I was inebriated. Like, I was, whatever. And she goes, I certainly didn't say he can publish all of this on his website, which he does.
Right.
And he said the headline on the site is Hunter Moore Fools Butthole Girl. And it's all about how he tricked her and humiliated her, and it gets millions and millions of views.
She says she, like, stopped watching it.
Because it's not even like, I mean, she's doing it in the video, but the whole point is that, like, ooh, everyone can laugh at her because she didn't know where it was going to end up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what's getting them off.
And it's, yeah, exactly. Because it's just about humiliation.
Right. So it's like, oh, she didn't know we were all going to see this? Oh, fucking great.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So now back to Kayla, 6 days posted. And they're worried now because the internet moves fast and like it's early on in the internet days and they're worried like 6 days in, is this going to end up on another website? Like the answer is yes.
Of course, like we can like, we're working this hard to get it taken down from this one site, but it's going to end up on 50 other sites.
Right, because now we know now when it's on the internet, it's everywhere.
Forever.
Like forever.
Yeah.
And so the cops aren't listening. So Charlotte goes to the FBI.
She goes right to the FBI, and she's told, like, the FBI kind of takes it seriously. Charlotte's told that within the month, they're going to send 3 FBI agents to the house, but that is still not fast enough for Charlotte. She needs this done today.
Right. So Charlotte decides to ask her husband, Charles, for help. Remember, they were keeping this all from him?
Yes.
But this is where we learn, oh, Charles is a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Information that really would have been helpful at the top of this thing.
Yeah, and he really blows it here, because his advice to Kayla and to Charlotte is...
I thought the best way to deal with the photo was to do nothing about it. You give it attention and it gets worse.
Charles just said, don't worry about it. Just move on. Leave it up there. People will forget about it anyway.
If you go after them, it's going to make it worse. Just let it go.
Charles is real out of touch.
Make like Elsa and let it go.
I thought the best way to deal with the photo was to do nothing about it.
Charles, and like
get your motor car and just leave us alone.
You're the British guy here. I thought you would know better than everybody.
But Charles's point is, at the time, he's like an older guy, whatever. He doesn't understand how this type of site exists. He can't imagine that anyone would want to visit this site at all. And honestly, like that part I get.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't see that it's a big deal, and it very much is.
At one point, he literally says, like, you have to understand, I didn't get on the internet until I was like in my 50s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the internet didn't exist until I was in my 50s.
And he's like, who wants to see a site humiliating people with photos without their knowledge? Like it doesn't
Charles,
compute.
you're asking the wrong questions.
I know.
Because
it's here now, Charles. And this isn't like the meeting to make the website. The website exists, Charles. You're already fucking late. Get in your motor car and catch up. We have work to do. The FBI's involved, sweetie. We got to keep moving. 6 days on the internet is like 10 lifetimes.
I know. And just like I can't imagine your wife and your like essentially your child come to you for help and you just say fucking no.
Or like, let's just ignore it. It'll go away.
I mean, come on.
So Charles throws his hands up and, quote, sits in his chair. He doesn't want to be involved. So Charlotte is like, God damn it. So Charlotte needs to prove that Hunter was hacking because that is illegal. The FBI confirmed it. So now she's reaching out to other victims on the site.
Men and women, I should point out. She says there are many women and men who were emotionally destroyed by this.
Right, but also just actually, like their lives were destroyed. They were getting fired.
There was a teacher from Kansas who Hunter had said, should I post this teacher? Do you think she'll lose her job? And all of his followers were like, yeah, post her. And then bam, her pictures were up. The next morning, the principal actually marched into her classroom and said, get your things together and go home. And she goes, why? Get your things together and go home.
So she gets fired. She doesn't know why. And it's not until Charlotte reaches out to her that she understands what happens. To which I said that principal only knew the teacher was on the website because he was fucking looking at it.
No, because they doxed her. They found where she worked because they said Hunter's egging them on in the comments.
Don't know.
In the comments, he goes, do you think she'll get fired?
No. I get that.
They sent this photo to the principal. That's where I'm standing on it.
I don't know. I feel like this man was looking at this. I mean, it could be either or both. But I'm just saying, for her to get fired and not even know why. And then when Charlotte reaches out to her, she's like, I have no recourse. I have no money. There's nothing I can do about this. Imagine being in that position where you don't have any resources. You get fired. You don't know why you've been fired. And you just have to go home and take it.
I agree that part's shitty. Where I stand on this is that because he was egging them on, do you think she'll get fired? He was encouraging people to kill themselves. Yeah. This army, this family, this whatever, they are sending these photos. They're calling the employers. They're saying, do you know that your employee is doing this? And that's how they're getting people fired. Because it's fun. He's a life ruiner. He's Regina George. He's a life ruiner, as Charlotte says.
Poor Regina George. She was redeemed in the end.
Was she?
I think so.
Oh, good. She did one nice thing for 5 seconds. Great. Join the Kardashians. Thanks, Kim, for using your zillions of dollars to get people out of prison. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, we're going to Buffalo. We meet Kara. She says March 2011 was when everything changed. She said she was 22. She had a great apartment. She loved her life. She was trained to be a nurse. Everything was great. She wakes up one morning. It's the same story. 200 notifications on her phone. She doesn't know what's happening. She finds a link to the website. She'd never heard of it. And all of a sudden, there are 2 photos of her. One of them is topless.
Right. And she's reading like all these comments about how one breast is bigger than the other, to which I say these incels have never seen a real person naked. It's so obvious. Like none of that is weird or strange. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like they're just like, oh, like they just have this weird, it's like they've never seen a real person naked.
Yeah.
Ever.
You know, it's the same story that we hear with a lot of the other women, except in this instance, she tries to take her life. She like takes 2 bottles of prescription medication, gets into a bath, and tries to kill herself.
And things change when Charlotte reaches out to Kara, and Kara's like, oh my God, there's more people like me. I'm not alone.
Exactly.
And so that's empowering.
Yeah. But like people are going to die. Like I think that's the point here is that
and
like.
And that's what they want. They're saying in the comments, maybe she'll kill herself.
Oh my
God. That's the goal here. So they're trying to get you fired. They're trying to ruin your life.
Yeah.
They're trying to say the meanest things, the cruelest things. So now it's 9 days since Kayla's photos have been posted, and the threats to Charlotte and Kayla are getting worse and worse and worse. Charles reads us one.
Yeah.
Charles says, here's what it says. It's hard to believe.
Hey, ugly bitch, get off Hunter's dick. If you don't, we'll rape you and put a shotgun down your throat. I thought, okay, that's the case, isn't it? That's a case for war.
This shocks Charles into action. So Charles calls Hunter's attorney, that guy Reza. And Reza, I feel like, is like, oh my God. Like, it's like the 15th call he's got about Hunter that day.
Yeah, Charles is like, I know I was slow to act on this.
Could you give us to us in a British accent?
I know I was slow to act on this. But I do see now that, yes, this is a very big deal. And I have to get involved, quote, without further delay. No, he's cockney, kind of.
But the point is, he's saying, like, look, it's a copyright issue. We've been saying this from the beginning. Kayla owns that photo. It's plain and simple. If I file a motion against your client, it's going to cost him thousands and thousands of dollars. Take the picture down. I'll make it go away. You've got 30 minutes to decide.
Click.
Yeah. And then Charlotte and Kayla are like sitting in the other room watching the clock.
Right. And he does it. And
Yeah.
Hunter's lawyer ditches him. Hunter takes the photo down, and Charlotte's like, all right, there's some movement here. But she's not done.
Right.
She's not done. And that's how episode 1 ends.
Yeah. So we're at the top of episode 2, which is interestingly called episode 2.
Yeah.
We had like 5 minutes of learning that Charlotte Laws, who's Kayla's mother, used to live in Vegas under the name Missy Laws, and she is apparently the world's most famous party crasher.
She's a professional party crasher in the 80s. And she used this talent to talk to Reagan, President Reagan. That's what she chose to do.
She was saying that, like, I just didn't like the idea that there were parties I, quote, couldn't get into.
She went on Oprah to talk about this.
She went on Oprah?
She has photos with everybody, so we
She's
see them.
Hanging out with Madonna.
Tom Jones, Cyndi Lauper, Burt Reynolds. She wrote a book called Meet the Stars.
I know! Where she's like, I could talk my way into any party. You couldn't tell me that I couldn't do it.
And you might be asking, dear listener,
Yeah.
why is this relevant? It's relevant.
Well, because it's kind of fabulous.
One, because it's a little bit
Yeah,
fun and we need a little bit of a goddamn break. Thanks so much. But also, she doesn't take no for an answer.
Right,
And
right,
she is
right.
going to take down Hunter Moore. So if she can talk her way into getting
Madonna's
photos
house.
with Madonna,
Yeah.
then she can certainly take down Hunter Moore.
Oh my God. I was like, what is happening? She's on Oprah.
She's on Oprah.
How do you get, she's on Oprah.
She's
oh
on
my
Oprah.
God.
So Kayla's photo is taken down, right?
Yes.
But Charlotte is not going to abandon all the other victims.
Even though Charles and Kayla want her to.
Right.
They're kind of
Let's
like,
move
Mom,
on,
it's
Mom.
let's right. We got the me thing. That's taken care of. Let's move on. But they're saying
And it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work and it's dangerous.
Yes.
But Charlotte has made relationships. She's been reaching out to these victims for like weeks and months now. She's not going to stop.
She has relationships with 40 victims. Like,
Yeah.
she knows 40 of them. And she learns now, she starts crunching the numbers.
And I had learned that 40% of them have never sent their pictures to anybody. What I discovered confirmed my suspicions. I thought that Hunter was hacking.
40% of these victims were hacked, that they'd never sent their photos to anyone,
Yeah.
and that these photos were stolen. And no one gave a shit. No reporters, cops, journalists, like no one was taking the bait.
Right. Hunter's all over every news outlet, but nobody will take Charlotte's calls. One apparently like well-known reporter tells her, you don't have a story.
Okay, well.
She's like, I snuck into Barbara Streisand's house.
Yeah, Cyndi Lauper begs to differ. So Charlotte decides, I'm going to start my own blog. And
Yes.
she does it under the name Cassie Freedom.
Well, because her whole thing is like she wants to take her findings, that 40% number,
Yes.
and she wants to publish that, but she
that
doesn't
40% of the people were hacked that she spoke to.
Right. She doesn't want to publish it from her own home because she doesn't want her IP address like tracked by
The
Hunter,
minions.
the minions, the family, the whole thing. She's like the only person thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
So when she goes on vacation to Vegas, which why does anyone go on vacation to Vegas?
It's real hot. But it is a dry heat.
It is and you can drink outside there, so
That's
I kind of
true.
get it. She goes to a quote internet cafe in a lobby of one of the hotels on the
Right.
strip, and she publishes her blog.
Right. And so the site is immediately hacked.
Yes.
And she's locked out of all of her accounts. This is how dangerous these people are.
Yeah.
The information they could find with just a name back
Yeah.
in the early 2000s. Think about what you can do with someone's real name in 2022.
I know.
2023.
And they don't even
like
know-
that's like doxing is so much simpler now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like all of this work that she's put in now, it's just been erased from the internet.
Right. And it's not that the journalists didn't care. It's just that they'd rather talk to Hunter Moore because he's the better story. And let's take Camille, for example, from The Village Voice. Camille and her internalized misogyny, I have words for her.
Camille says,
I liked writing about subjects whom people reflexively hated. I liked writing about things that people would look at and go, ew.
I liked writing about things that people would look at and go, ew.
Which, fine. If you're gonna expose them,
Right.
not just give them a platform.
Because we learned that the Village, I guess it was back when the Village Voice still had money, they decide they're going to do a feature on Hunter Moore. They fly him to New York where she's just going to party with him for 5 days.
He has his birthday party at Webster Hall, you fucking herb. What a loser.
I once saw Mandy Moore and Paula Cole at Webster Hall.
That's what
It
Webster
was-
Hall is for. Not for Hunter's
Mandy Mo-
fucking birthday party.
Mandy Moore was opening for Paula Cole. It
What
was
a bill. That's amazing. That sounds fantastic.
It was so amazing.
And Hunter Moore came in and desecrated.
Can I just say that
Sacred
at one
ground.
point, Mandy Moore came back out to play tambourine for Paula?
That's adorable.
It was really
I love that.
great. It was a really good show. It was a really good show.
I'm actually really sad I missed it.
Anyway.
Yeah, so the Village Voice flies Hunter and his, quote, entourage out.
Yeah.
And Camille tells us just what it was like to be around him.
Because this is the whole point. She's going to follow him around for a couple days and just like write what it's like to be this fucking cool internet bad boy.
Right. And it's 2012 and this is sort of the peak popularity of the site. And like women wanted to hook up with him and they were following him around and men were saying he has the best life ever.
Yeah.
And so they're all in this limo after the party.
Can I just say for 1 second that Camille's like, so we leave the party and somebody hails a limo. How does that happen? There was a time in New York City where you could only hail limos.
Does she really say how did that happen?
I don't know how that. I'm like, girl, like, do you actually live in New York? There was a time.
Thanks a lot, Village Voice. I thought this was all on your dime.
I know. There was a time when like limousines just drove around New York City, and that you would like be desperately trying to get a cab and be a line of limos.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's a very weird thing, but it is true.
Camille, enough. I know. So they're all in the limo.
14 of them.
Yeah, after this party. And Hunter is making out with the men and women. The men as a joke, of course.
Of course. I was like,
no homo, right, Hunter?
But like, if you're sticking your tongue, it's one thing to like fake kiss your guy friend if you're straight. If you're sticking your tongue in that guy's mouth, one of you.
Camille, it's a joke. No homo, bro. No homo, Village Voice. Then Camille.
I'm also just wondering, what is Camille doing? Like, is she drinking or is she just watching?
She's watching because she very casually tells the story about how Hunter sexually assaults a young woman, girl, underage, I don't know, in the limo in front of everyone.
And then he starts like being like, come on, baby, let's have sex. Come on, let's have sex. And she's like, no, Hunter, no. And they're on my lap at this point. She said no, but he didn't leave it alone. He, kept asking her.
He is forcing himself on her. Camille does a voice for the girl.
Uh-huh.
She does like, no, Hunter, no. Camille is laughing.
Yeah.
She's like, well, at this point, they're on my lap, everybody. So he's assaulting her on my lap. I wrote about it for the Village Voice. Yeah, I'm doing a voice for you, Camille, because you deserve it. That story should not be told in a casual LOL kind of way, Camille.
Especially now, like all these Me
Why
Too
are you
movements.
sitting here?
I know, exactly.
What are you doing here, Camille?
And then she's saying that like he wants to have sex with this girl in front of everybody and he won't take no for an answer.
Right. We're back to Joe Francis.
Oh my God.
It's the same thing. So now it's published and it's called The Hunter Games and he's on the cover of the Village Voice. It's unbelievable. And so Charlotte sees this and she calls up Camille. She's like, Camille, it's been published for 2 hours. And she's like, let me tell you something, Camille. I read your cute little profile about this piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's hacking, which is illegal. I have personally spoken to 40 victims. Here's all of my information, the screenshots, the threats. She like hands this expose to Camille who does nothing with it.
Yeah. And also Camille says like, wait a minute. Are you like, Camille has done not a minute's worth of due diligence on like her research of Hunter because she's like shocked by the idea that anybody would be on the site against their will.
But he also brags about being a bad guy.
Exactly.
So like, come on, Camille.
She's like, Camille being shocked by this was so surprising
Anything
to me.
to up your circulation, right, Village Voice? Give me a break. And I just can't believe what a platform he's getting.
Yeah.
Because now he goes on Anderson Cooper.
Oh my God, so that's where we're going to end episode 1, fam, because we're going to open episode 2 with him going on Anderson Cooper. So here's the thing, fam. Episode 2 is available right now. It's ad-free at the $5 level on Patreon. It's going to be our regular episode next week. Tell them what happens in episode 2. The conclusion of this thing is wild.
We meet this Marine who, like, is real quotable about revenge. Anonymous, the hacktivist, get involved.
Yes,
we fucking go to war against Hunter.
It's really
and I am
true.
so I get real vengeful. It's going to be crazy.
So check that out. Go find it on Patreon right now. Patreon is also where you can find over 350 ad-free bonus episodes. It's where you can find so many videos of our live shows and panels from Obsessed Fest.
I was just going to say.
So many things. It's patreon.com/truecrimeobsessed.
Yeah, go check it out. Everyone's invited.
Yeah. Also, follow us on the TikTok. It's True Crime Obsessed Pod.
Yeah.
And join the Facebook group. It's True Crime Obsessed Podcast Discussion Group.
Right. We just try to have fun. We try to do good things on the internet.
We do.
That's all.
That's it. We have no coming up on because we know exactly what it's going to be for next week.
And it is so much.
It's so wild.
Oh my God.
All right, we love you.
We love you. Bye.
All right, bye. Now that we're here, can these people look to their diets? Because this shit wasn't particularly tight.
No, it was bad shit.
You know what I mean?
It was bad. But also, like, was she eating bad things? Like, I don't know. Anything for the attention. Anyway.
And for me, I was kind of like, wait, what is that? And I'm like looking closer, and then I realized what I'm looking at. Oh my God.
And the voiceover, she's like, so here's my toothbrush and the pee.
No.
Like,
I know.
Like, it's the
No,
like, it's the best
just because you have it doesn't mean you have to use it. 100%.
sidekicks.
Oh, but do you remember sidekicks?
I never had a sidekick.
Oh my God, my friend Maya, who was on the Real World Hawaii, she would come to New York with her fucking sidekick.
Yeah.
Because the thing that you would have to flick it with your thumb.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then like you were the cool kids if you had a sidekick.
You had a sidekick in addition to a phone. So like the sidekick wasn't also a phone.
What?
At least when Amaya, or maybe Amaya couldn't figure out how to use it as a phone.